Smoking is really deadly. Nobody should be smoking. If you understand how lethal this product is, it kills millions of people worldwide. It's the most preventable cause of death in the United States. It's the only product that, if used as intended, will kill you. It's incredible how dangerous this product is to every single smoker. And there are some people who are at even more risk than the average smoker. The average smoker is at great risk, and now you have populations which are even worse. People who have other problems that weren't caused by smoking. A good example of this is someone born with type 1 diabetes. It's not a lifestyle thing, it's inherited. It's part of their makeup. And if you look at the complications that these people are burdened with throughout their life, increased chance of blindness because of eye damage, increased risk of kidney damage, increased risk of vascular issues that could result in heart attacks, strokes, amputations. They're really at great risk of all of these problems because of this genetic problem that they have. But sometimes these people smoke. And sometimes they almost do it with the attitude, it's like, well, they got this problem anyway, what more could smoking do? Well, if you look at smoking and the problems that it causes many of the same problems. It is a major reason why people have eye problems, and that can result in blindness. And the cardiovascular risk, well, come on, it's the major risk that smokers face. And the same kinds of damage that the diabetes can cause, well, now you're adding smoking into the fray, you're greatly increasing your risk. Or you look at people who have environmental exposure, maybe from where they live or maybe from the kind of occupations they had. Oh, people who worked with things like asbestos or uranium miner, or somebody who works with radon or has radon exposure in their house. All those things pose a risk that increases your risk of lung cancer. But smoking greatly increases your risk of lung cancer. And now you take the two risk factors together, you create what's known as a synergistic effect. That's where you take one risk factor, you add another risk factor, you don't add the risks of those complications together, you multiply them. They go up so much higher because of the two independent risk factors. And in some, maybe you can't control it. In the case of if it's your environment and everywhere around you has the exposure, you may not be able to change that. Or in the case of genetic makeup, you can't change that. That's the risks you have. But the smoking is the variable you can control. And by controlling it, you greatly minimize the risk of developing those problems. So again, bottom line, no one should be smoking. It's dangerous to everybody. But some people are even at greater risk. And if you're one of those people, you need to understand the astronomical dangers you are facing because you are sustaining smoking while having these other issues. The way to minimize the risk of these complications, even in the case where you have other factors possibly responsible for causing the problems, the way to minimize the risk of it turning into a full-blown life-threatening implication is still by sticking to your personal commitment to never take another puff.